I was wondering if it would mess with women's menstrual periods. So, welcome to Movie Pain or Pleasure Podcast, the show that goes through a lot of shit to make you laugh. My god, this movie we watched is terrible.
If you're watching this, then you know by now a huge problem is heading our way. An emergency meeting is being called at our usual place immediately. Free bagels.
That's pretty bad.
I'm your co-host, Melanie, and I am wearing a shirt that looks like it has moons on it. And I'm drinking a glass of Chardonnay by Tattooed Girl because I am a tattooed girl. And this movie is going to make me kill this bottle. So, hi AJ. You're also wearing a themed shirt. Oh, there's like a drop left in
Okay,
here. I
I was
just
like,
didn't have enough to fill up my glass.
It's a bad movie, but that's a terrible reason to drink a whole bottle.
Show up at AA. Well, I watched Moonfall, and this is how I got here. Almost knocked my glass over. So
This movie's so fucking stupid. It feels like The Gang.
he's
wrote it.
wearing a Patty's Pub t-shirt that I got him at Target.
Mac would have been coming up with all the science, and Charlie would come up with all of the ideas of, like, the next big event.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, moving on. So we are talking about Moonfall, which is a disaster movie starring Patrick Wilson, the darling of horror movies, Halle Berry, and John Bradley, who was Samwell Tarly in Game of Thrones. And he's really the only thing that makes me able to get through this movie because he's like a big dumb puppy. He's so cute and just round and adorable. He's Sam Tarly the whole time.
He's also a fucking conspiracy theorist.
But there's this big war trying to, like, basically destroy humanity because humanity has free will, and there's a decision to which level we want to go to. We have free will, so evil's allowed to come and contend, not just good. And the elites themselves believe they're racing using human technology to try to take our best minds and build some type of breakaway civilization where they're going to merge with machines, transcend, and break away from the failed species that is man.
Yeah, so this, okay, when I saw ads for it, I knew it was going to be dumb, but it did kind of pique my interest because I'm like, oh, Sam Tarly got some movie work. Good for him. But also it was like that, it's an interesting premise of what if the moon started to come out of its orbit and sort of start falling towards the Earth. How badly would that fuck up things? So it shows like the tides going crazy. I was wondering if it would mess with women's menstrual periods. So, I mean,
Well,
a girl's gotta wonder.
Well, it could be accurate, I suppose. I also feel like nobody would think to actually write that in unless it was someone who was writing a very clever parody of these types of movies. Which this is almost a parody of
If we
these.
could shoot down the moon and stop having periods, let's shoot down the moon. Let's nuke that son of a bitch.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'll stop talking about periods.
The short answer to what is this film before we go through the whole stupid piece of shit is this is a hate watch.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking terrible. I don't care what other people say. It's bad.
It's bad.
It's that fucking bad. If the moon breaks through the atmosphere and somehow the Earth isn't destroyed, it's bad.
It's bad. Okay, and we'll get into all of the things. Like, you have to suspend your disbelief with these scientific disaster movies. That's okay. Like, aliens can come to Earth and the contagions and shit like that. That can happen, but the things in this movie are so ridiculous. And also, I'm going to get on my soapbox for just a minute. The fact that this dumb piece of shit movie got greenlit and got big stars like Halle Berry makes me so angry because there are so many probably awesome little indie pieces out there that never even get to the Sundance Film Festival. They never see the light of day. There are so many talented screenwriters out there and you just have the same people doing the same things, making the same movies. Oh, also maybe kind of like traditional publishing, which has gone down to like 3 big publishers that just gatekeep and all they do is publish diet books and celebrity memoirs and Twilight books and shitty fiction. I'll give him a pass on Stephen King books because those are mostly pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, my friend Christopher Stanfield is coming out with a new book called The Bloody Rose about a serial killer cheerleader. It comes out on Halloween, so you should totally download that and support an indie author.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Didn't
So
expect a plug.
fuck big publishing, fuck big movie. Fuck big Hollywood.
Unless
I have some feelings about this.
Unless they ever offer to pay me.
Oh, yeah, I
In
will
which case-
totally. Because I am an indie author myself and wrote a memoir called Kicking and Screaming, a memoir of madness and martial arts. And if Big Hollywood wants to make a movie out of my book, and if Big Publishing wants to distribute this larger than it has been, oh yeah, I will sell out.
Like, fuck you, but also, like,
Also,
give me some money.
Please give me some money for my book. Okay, so, God, fuck, I hate this movie. Moonfall. So it starts out with some ominous space stuff, which, like, you're not 2001: A Space Odyssey. Stop it. And then we hear Toto's Africa.
Oh, God.
I love that song.
I hate it so
love
much.
That song.
I hate that fucking song. I want to shoot all the people that are involved in the creation of that song.
No, I love that song.
Fuck that song.
It sounds like all the white kids that brought their own acoustic guitar to school but weren't in a band. They just played it before class. It became really cool. They found out, oh, then they learned a shit ton, and they grind, bitch, moan, step, 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 step,
Okay, so Toto's Africa is playing because they're listening to it in space. So Patrick Wilson is an astronaut, and he and this other dude are out working on something, and Halle Berry is inside manning the spaceship. And so they're talking shit, they're arguing about what the lyrics to the songs are. And then it looks to me like when film is, like, if you take a cassette tape and yank all the film out of it, this black crap flies toward them. That's what it looks like. This black stuff, it looks like digital pieces.
Any nanobots in any movie ever, they always look the same.
Yeah, pixels fly out of nowhere, and they knock Marcus, the other astronaut, kind of out. He starts spinning, and he dies. And so Patrick Wilson basically gets blamed for the incident because he can't explain it, and so he is stripped of whatever. He becomes a has-been. Loses his job.
They always do this in disaster movies. It doesn't really ever make sense.
Oh, and this movie is so formulaic because you have, like, the disenfranchised main guy that's like, I've been out of this game for too long. He's got a shitty family life. He has an older son who doesn't like him, a younger daughter.
His wife
it's War of the
left him.
Worlds.
His wife left him, and the new guy is sort of a dick, but he's the one that's got money.
Yes, the stepdad has money.
It's War of the Worlds. It's Taken. It's fucking any disaster movie.
It's so
San Andreas, I think, was a similar thing.
So formulaic. We don't give a shit about their family lives.
Yeah, that too. I never care. I never care about any of them.
So,
I don't care about their bad relationship breakup. I don't care about their oldest son, who's always a dick.
And he's in jail, and he's like, I don't want him to spend a night in jail. Well, maybe he should spend a night in jail. So anyway, then we meet John Bradley, who... I don't remember his character's name. I'm just going to call him Samwell because he's Samuel Tarly. He's basically
Samwell Moonfall.
He's basically Samuel Tarly in this movie, except he's not like, Mr. Raymond.
Like, literally, he's the same because he's telling everybody about a science thing that no one wants to listen to. It's going to destroy the Earth.
He is... I don't know if he was, like, all but dissertation. He doesn't really have a job. He almost got his PhD, but he didn't. But he's really smart. He does all these calculations, and he's discovered... They do this in disaster movies. There's always that one crackpot that discovers things before other people do, that the moon is going out of orbit.
Which, I don't...
And weird stuff is starting to happen.
I don't know how I feel about... I know I don't like it. Considering we live in a world where people are fully on board with flat Earth theory.
Oh god, yeah, so he's a conspiracy theorist.
And
giant artificial system.
He's surrounded by other... So it's weird. It's like kind of propping up the idea, well, yeah, conspiracy theorists, a lot of them are weird, but there's probably one in there who knows something.
He's the one who was right. Which is, I think, is dangerous because it's like, oh, these QAnon crackpots, they may be onto something.
Yeah.
So he tries to get the attention of NASA, and of course they brush him off.
He's sort of acceptable. Like, you can kind of get away with it because it's him. But if he said megastructure one more fucking time...
The megastructure! He sounded
it's
like
a megastructure. It's just a giant fucking structure of some kind. Why is that a specific title to a thing?
So
if I built something right now and I just made it big enough, it would be a megastructure. So
that's what she said.
I don't know why he kept saying it like it's its own little thing. That doesn't mean shit.
I think they were trying to, like, make that a thing. So before we talk about the
moon has been hollow this entire time and somehow nobody knew.
Ah, for Christ's sake, I hate this movie.
Or people did know and we tried to keep it under wraps, but I have no idea why.
Okay, so let's back up
Still
a little bit.
doesn't make sense.
Okay. There's always this moment where we're watching a movie and one of us is like, that's so stupid, that's not believable. And we're like, really? That's what you question? I will take everything at face value. of the moon being a hollow megastructure that was built by aliens and somehow is in Earth's orbit. And shit is coming out of it because the robots are angry. I will take that. What I don't take is a guy who sounds like one of the Beatles has a mom who sounds as flat and as American as I do. They explain later, I guess his dad was British, he grew up in England and then came to America, but still, he sounds like one of the fucking Beatles. Like, his accent is that thick. I'm just not buying it. The moon is starting to come out of orbit and things are getting weird, and then just looting and rioting is rampant.
And a lot of people don't really take it serious. Like, I don't mean like normal everyday people that, I don't believe it, nah, fucking...
Coronavirus is just a cold.
Like,
yeah,
literal scientists and all of NASA and the government just immediately giving up, like, oh shit, we ran out of rockets.
Oh yeah, they keep giving up every time. So they do make an attempt. So there's looting and rioting everywhere, and some people keep talking about, we're gonna go to Colorado and it's gonna be okay. Like, it's the moon.
Yeah, if it falls out and it hits
us. You can't escape the moon. It's like the eye of God.
I was about to say the dragons. The dragons got murdered by a single asteroid that hit the Earth.
The dinosaurs?
It was like 3 miles long. Yeah,
or were they dragons?
I meant to say dinosaurs, and I went, fucking shit, I'm dumb. Sam Tarly, we're talking about Sam, and, you know, the Daenerys's of the world, and the Khaleesi's and the Targaryens.
We watch too many things.
Anyway. So, fuck. So, okay, moving on. Oh,
wait, also, I have a note on here. Let's see. Oh, now the moon is a giant octopus monster. So, it wasn't just that pieces of the moon were breaking off. They send up, like, an exploratory spacecraft to see, like, what's going on with the moon. And so these, like, tentacled robot hands come out of this crater in the moon and blast him in the face. They prop up Donald Sutherland as the old man who knows too much and, like, he sold his soul to the government.
Like, they paid for Donald Sutherland, and he was only in there for, like, not even 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you always have to have Donald Sutherland in one of those disaster movies. So then, anyway, Halle Berry is, like, the head of NASA because people keep fucking off. They're like, I'm going to Colorado. Fuck this. Her ex-husband is high up in the military, and the military wants to nuke the moon.
This is another thing they do. Like, it's like they don't have scientists in the military.
Way to make a problem worse.
Yeah, like, and everyone immediately is like, well, what about Fallout, you dumbasses? Yeah, what about Fallout?
And then
they probably know more about nuclear fucking weapons than just general public. They know how far it's gonna go. They have fucking scientists of their own.
They need to get, like, an X-Wing fighter, and it's that scene where they go into the Death Star, and it's like, and go down the center
Sam,
of it.
And he would explode, because he's fat.
Oh, yeah, the fat guy in the X-Wing fighter always dies. So, okay, Halle Berry, let me say this, and she did win an Oscar. Like, she's not good in this, but she says so much dumb shit with a straight face. Like, they're willing to do anything they can to take out the moon.
They are very funny lines.
Okay, go ahead. I need more wine.
Her character actually kind of makes Samwell almost irrelevant. Like, I feel like they just wanted him to be the big-eyed, like, young, I don't know.
The layperson.
Like, yeah, to the weirdo to sort of bounce stuff off of.
That's crazy.
But the government and NASA start to pick up on the exact same stuff the exact same time he's trying to tell them anyway.
Yeah.
So and then, you know, they use him later in the movie, like, as a co-pilot or an engineer. But other than that, there's no reason for him to exist. He runs in to Patrick Wilson because he accidentally misuses his identity, sort of.
He impersonates him at, like, a school day at the museum.
Which... Okay, and those kids were assholes. There's a bunch of these... I mean, kids are assholes, but...
Yeah.
Like, as soon as Samwell walks in, and he doesn't say anything to these kids, he's not even necessarily walking towards them. Some kid's like, my teacher said you're a fucking idiot. And that you're a washed-up has-been, and we shouldn't even listen to you. But the school did bring us here. And he goes off on a tangent for like 10 minutes, conspiratorially teaching the kids that the moon is hollow and...
It's a megastructure.
Which I know it is, but still, it's stupid. And then Patrick Wilson shows up, and it's like, oh, there's the guy. Like, why did the the kid think that Samuel was Patrick Wilson? What part of his face was he like, yeah, that's the guy that was in the pictures? That was on the
Spitting image.
that was on the wall?
Okay.
Hey man, you really let yourself go.
And you're British now? So, okay. So it's a race against time because the military wants to nuke the moon. And the moon is also falling, which is really funny because you see these scenes of, like, civilians running and then the moon shows up.
Like it's following them around. Like,
Yeah,
just in
yeah.
the background.
So like the B story is, and I don't give a shit. Yeah, I feel like one of the Hodge twins right now. Okay, so Patrick Wilson's ex-wife and his son and her husband and 2 daughters, I guess he has with him, are going to Colorado, and they also took Halle Berry's son with them. So we're supposed to care about
that was
these
all
people.
sort of separate.
Yeah, so
but
they're-
it doesn't matter.
They're on a journey too, and some weird stuff happens. Like the science in this makes no sense, but okay, there are renegades, and so as the moon is falling, I guess it's fucking with the oxygen, and so they have these oxygen tanks, and they have to fight these people for it, and then the son gets lost, so his stepdad goes out to look for him. Oh, no. The stepdad gives his oxygen to his little girl. It's like, no, you go on. And then he, like, collapses. And then immediately, because the oxygen had depleted, and then immediately they were like, oh, the moon's going away. The oxygen is back. We can go look for him.
Yeah, that was weird. As soon as they got in the tunnel, they were like, huh, we can breathe again. For no fucking reason.
Oh, my God. It's like
And
when... It's like when little kids play with each other and like, I shot you. No, I've got special armor on. They're like, okay. Oh.
And then they undercut that immediately because as soon as the son's like, I'll go save him, he falls off a cliff. And then
a tree falls on him.
And then the other chick that was in the movie was like, well, I'll go save him. And then I don't know.
No one cares. No one gives a shit. So
No one gives a fuck.
The stepdad
Although,
dies. I don't know.
Fuck the son, because every time
Patrick Wilson's son,
everyone
not the sun, as in the sun, the celestial being.
Everyone does this in this movie. I don't
this
understand the lack of urgency. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
every
talk about
time
how they don't try.
Someone came up with like, well, we need to do this, but Dad, what if it doesn't work? Then we all die, you dumb cunt. Like, what do you mean? What if it doesn't work? Like, there's no living if it doesn't work. Like,
You will cease to
well,
exist.
you're gonna look dumb if it doesn't work, Dad. Well, yeah, I'm gonna look dumb in the afterlife when God's like, what the fuck? I gave y'all a planet, and you didn't even try? Like, which is what we're actually all gonna hear when we die, probably, because we didn't try in real life either.
Oh, no.
But it's just infuriating, the whole movie. Every time someone's like, well, we fucked up another engine, let's just quit. What do you mean, let's just quit? It's death. It's death.
The moon is literally falling, so...
Death is on the line!
So there's a ticking clock. The military's gonna nuke it. Ramifications be damned. And so meanwhile, Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson and poppy-eyed Samuel Tarly, John Bradley, whatever his character's name is, go up in a rocket to, I guess, appease the gods or whatever. They're going to go into the crater where the nanobots are coming out and try to stop it.
They have an EMP.
In the megastructure.
They have an electromagnetic pulse that they're going to use to kill the nano. Okay, but this sound. There's so much dumb science. I want to hate on this a lot, but I'll be honest, I don't know. They keep saying like, well, it doesn't matter that we don't have 4 engines. We can just use 2 because the gravity of the moon is freaking the fuck out and it will lift us into it. Which if the gravity of the Earth is harder than the moon,
I have to sneeze. Hey, go ahead. Not done.
The stupidness of the science made her sneeze.
Yeah, but okay, it's a balance between, do you want to be as granularly scientific as something like The Martian, or is it like The Twilight Zone, where it's kind of like, well, it's science fiction?
One of my recommendations is a movie that I'm sure has awful science, but you can't be so blatant with it. Like, you gotta have a little bit of wiggle room where I could sort of be like, Yeah, I guess.
This is the movie where it's just like, we're gonna make it work.
This is the Fast and Furious 9 of disaster films.
Actually, it's Fast 10 because there's already a Fast 9.
What? I'm not saying it's in the universe. I'm just saying,
But what if it is in the Fast and Furious universe? Yes, and they sent Tej and Roman up in a Prius.
Because I like Fast and the Furious. I hate this. I like it for the wrong reasons.
Please send Tej and Roman to the moon.
Okay.
Okay,
so,
fuck, alright.
Fuck it. They get into space, they get on the moon, some things go wrong that just make the movie longer for no reason. And why are disaster movies almost 3 hours long?
Oh, also,
every time.
I have a note in here. The car chase is the most ridiculous thing. So back to, I guess, Patrick Wilson's ex-family and stuff. I think this is before Tom, the stepdad, dies. They go on this car chase with these, Mad Max people that are trying to get their... It's
CGI
ridiculous.
was terrible.
The CGI was awful. I could believe, the moon, the megastructure with the robot crap inside, but just cars racing down the street and some fire stuff? No.
I think that was the part that we were watching where, I reject this. This is the part.
This is the part.
I accept the moon falling on the earth because it's actually hollow and we never found out. But this, I call bullshit on.
Yes, and I almost forgot. I'm glad I wrote a
because
note about
he jumped like the edge of a cliff, fell on another piece of ice, and then proceeded to go to the next fucking piece of earth.
You cannot do that unless it's a Fast and Furious movie. Okay, I don't know if you remember this. I'm glad I wrote a note because it gets weirder. So Patrick Wilson is inside the megastructure, and he gets blasted with this knowledge from aliens. It's like the crystal skulls are all around him. They blasted with this knowledge, and they're like,
your ancestors were once a thriving civilization in a distant part of the galaxy. They were so advanced, they expanded from their home planet into habitats they built in space. Your ancestors had created a perfect and harmonious world, controlled by a central, self-learning computer system which served them in all of their daily lives. Their own creation turned against them and transformed into countless swarms of nanotechnology.
what in the Scientology
So,
is this?
they stole the backstory to Man of Steel.
Okay, explain.
Man of Steel, it says the same thing. Superman's dad shows up and he's like, we all came from the same beginning species and they got advanced enough to send colonies out throughout space. And they ended up with Earth and they ended up with Krypton. Krypton became super people and Earth became Earth.
Can I stop you for a moment?
No.
It's pronounced Krypton.
I
I hate Marlon Brando's pronunciation of Krypton so much.
Krypton.
He says Krypton every single fucking time.
So anyway, that means Moonfall is another version of Earth, like Earth 6 or whatever in the DC mega universe. It has to be. It has the exact same backstory. This is the version of Earth where Superman never showed up. And this
instead
weird,
we got Patrick Wilson.
And this weird Brainiac version of nanobot things show up.
Yeah, so they took over. And so they were inside the moon for billions of years, and finally they were like, hey, wait a minute. We don't like you guys. Fuck this.
I signed up for a movie about the moon falling on the Earth. I did not sign up for some weird reveal about aliens came from way the fuck across the galaxy to make a new colony, and their AI hates them so much it followed them all the way there just to fuck with them by, as they said, kill two birds with one stone. Well, we'll just break the moon and then we'll kill all the people. But that's stupid, because the way it finds people is people being inside of technology.
Yeah, like with your iPhone, it's like there's an organic matter and technology.
So we gotta kill it. But the world has been doing this for a while, and it never thought to attack.
Like at least the last 100 years when we really started destroying
Yeah, and it for some reason still fucked off on the moon.
Oh my god, I hate this
So,
movie.
I didn't sign up for this.
No, I wanted like the moon was falling. Oh, and the moon does fall. It scrapes the fucking Earth.
Yeah, it enters the atmosphere and doesn't smash in.
It just
Which-
very gently, like, falls.
It just sort of glides. It's
kind of skids.
It's grinding like Tony Hawk. Like, and the atmosphere is fucking gone. When they get somehow they get the moon back to where it's supposed to fucking go, and
It's like the moon was almost sentient because it was like, oh, it wants to go back into orbit, but the nanobots inside are mad. So, okay. And then we have, again, with the disaster movie, there's always like the dork who sacrifices themselves, like Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day or whatever. And so Sam tricks Patrick Wilson and he gets in a little pod and he's like, no, I'm going to go in.
That was his TIE fighter.
He was, yes!
It is a fat guy dying inside a TIE fighter.
Not a TIE fighter, an X-Wing fighter.
Whatever.
TIE fighters are from the Empire.
I don't give a shit.
Yes, you should. Why would a gold leader be inside a TIE fighter?
X fighters barely look like an X, and TIE fighters don't look TIE at all. So
They don't even speak TIE. They don't even use like spices in their food.
whatever. Nobody remembers X fighters. Everybody remembers TIE fighters.
Who doesn't remember X-Wing fighters?
Apparently me.
It was in my Star Wars ABC's pop-up book. I'll have you know.
Anyway, he still gets to be the fat gold leader, or whatever, or red leader, or...
He's the fat guy who dies in an X-Wing fighter, like in all the Star Wars movies. But he's not. Okay, so... so like in Transcendence, they upload his consciousness into AI, I guess, and so he shows up in this like white... It's like when Harry Potter. It's like when Harry Potter goes to the void and talks to Dumbledore.
It's British Afterlife. It's bland, but it's kind of pleasant. It's British Afterlife.
And so he's like, oh, what's this? And a cat shows up, and we're like, we've seen everything so far. This cat's gonna start talking.
I was like, please. Because they already had, like, Patrick Wilson's son appear. Like, it was just part of his consciousness, but it appeared as his son. So when the cat appeared, I was like, yes.
I mean, they might as well just
do it.
Turn it into Hitchhiker's Guide for the Galaxy at this point. But no, the cat doesn't, but his mom shows up. So I guess she's dead, or she's part of his consciousness.
It's all part of his consciousness.
Oh my god.
It's all a matrix.
I hope my consciousness never gets uploaded to anything.
Why did they even... One, they could just upload humans at any point in time.
Ugh.
And two... Why? Like, they were just like, you seem pretty cool, bro. I guess you're one of us now. We gotta get started. And he's like, get started doing what? And fuck, I hope there's not a sequel.
Yeah, get started with what? And his mom just smiles and it's like, here we go again. No! Oh my god, fuck this movie. I hate this movie.
What if the scene just went a little longer and she was like, genocide?
What?
And you're like, wait, what?
You're part of the AI now. We're gonna kill all the humans. Wait, what?
It's like, but...
Fuck, okay, alright. So that's Moonfall. It's on HBO Max. Don't watch it unless you really want to have a good hate watch.
It is... Oh.
Maybe you have some...
There's a fine line of being a good hate watch.
Yeah, like a good hate watch is enjoyable. It's funny.
There are hate watches that don't become guilty pleasures, but I enjoyed, like, the right amount of talking shit about it.
I think I enjoyed talking shit about this movie. I couldn't watch it again.
But it's so long. Why are disaster movies so fucking long? Like, they take over an hour of setup. I don't need it, because it's always the same one. You might as well just walk on screen and go, like, I'm the guy whose wife or husband left him. That's the chick whose wife or husband left him also. That's the person who probably is a crackhead, but will save the day. And then get going. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, so what are your recommendations?
The Core.
Okay, I've never seen that.
The Core is probably just as stupid, but I have fond memories of it. I haven't even seen it since I was a teenager, but I liked it when I was a teenager. And it's a crew of astronauts and geologists, like, go to the center of the Earth because the mantle is being stupid, and it's gonna kill everybody. And that's it. I liked it, so there you go.
Mm-hmm. I've got 3. One is actually one that you mentioned, so I'll let you expand upon that. The first one is Independence Day. It's a really good one. Aliens attack. Jeff Goldblum's in it. I don't know if it's the one with the Aerosmith song. I don't know. But it's a really good movie.
I mean, you get to see Will Smith punch an alien in the face, and it's not Men in Black, so.
Yeah, and isn't Jeff Goldblum in that one? Is that the one with Bruce Willis and Jeff Goldblum? There's Armageddon and there's Independence Day, and I get the two mixed up, but Independence Day is really good. Also, the new Space Jam with LeBron James, I really enjoyed that. That there's AI in it. And my favorite part is when he goes up to his son, he's like, the computer's black. Because it's Don Cheadle. So, and also I like LeBron James, and the science in that made more sense. So, and you got the Looney Tunes, and you have Droogs. We won't even go there.
Oh my God, the Droogs.
And also, once we were getting into this movie, you said they might as well have just made Scorcher.
Yes!
So,
make fucking Scorcher a movie!
So,
make it!
Explain for those who may not be enlightened as to what Scorcher is.
Tropic Thunder had a bunch of really great fake trailers before the start of the movie, and one of them was Scorcher, which the Earth is gonna
it's on fire,
burn, I guess, whatever.
And Ben Stiller's the action star,
and I feel what I want is don't make the original Scorcher. Ben Stiller's older now. Make Scorcher 8.
Where he's old and grizzled, and he's like, I don't answer to that name anymore.
And have flashbacks and stuff that don't exist. Like, those movies never existed, but I want him to have flashbacks as if there were other movies before, and them to address the movies that don't exist but happened before this one.
Ben Stiller, are you listening? We got an idea for you.
Won't, but, and if you do it, then let me, like, die in there. Let me get a Wilhelm. Like,
yeah, hook us up. Give me like a really awful, like really horrible person. Like, I want to be one of those guest stars on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia who's just awful.
Yeah, so
or a backup dancer in an Austin Powers movie.
We need a Scorcher 8 to exist. If that doesn't exist, obviously, so watch Tropic Thunder because it's fun.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation. Yeah, Moonfall is one of those, like, if you have the time and you have maybe a nice substance to enjoy while
if
you're watching
you really enjoy disaster films, maybe.
They've never really done anything about the moon falling before. That's why I was intrigued.
Yeah, but I thought it was gonna be like, I don't know, like, we gotta figure out how to use magnets, yo.
Magnets, bitch. So, okay, if you wanna join the ancient alien race and join our cult and be my victim and follow our Space Jam, you can follow us on Twitch, Discord, YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, and you can follow us on Instagram at Movie Pain or Pleasure Podcast.
All those things. Don't let the moon fall. And if it does, try, like,
put a helmet on.
I don't care what it is. If you think that doing a satanic dance and shoving a carrot up your ass is going to save us, do it.
Hail Satan.